Hi friends, so today we will start a new concept, sampling theory. So already we know that a probability distribution. So based on that probability distribution, this is also one more topic is a sampling theory. So before going to see some examples, so you will see some basics of a sampling theory. So random sampling. So random sampling is nothing but a large collection of individuals or attributes or numerical data. It can be understood as a population or universe. Right? So more definition you can see a random sampling nothing but a finite subset of a universe is called the sample. Right? Sample variables. You know the sample variables or random variables, right? Similarly, once you know the random variables or samplings, so we know the many methods to find the data or any data. So nothing but a sampling distributions. So sampling distribution for each and every sample of size n, we can compute quantities like mean, standard deviation, regression, correlation, and so on. Right? These are the sampling distributions. Now standard error. So standard error nothing but standard deviation. The standard deviation of a sampling distribution is also called the standard error. Standard error. Okay. Then test of hypothesis. Test of hypothesis. In order to arrive at a decision regarding the population through a sample of the population, we have to make certain assumptions referred to as hypothesis which may or may not be true. So any sample of size that they may be that is population data or any other data, that data we are decision assumption is maybe that is true or statement is false, right? Here, so if you see some examples, the hypothesis formulated for the purpose of its rejection under the assumptions that it is true is called the null hypothesis. So usually null hypothesis we are denoting by H naught. Any hypothesis which is complementary to the null hypothesis is called alternative hypothesis. So denoted by H1. Denoted by H1. Here you have. Similarly, errors type 1 error and type 2 error. So here, so you see this table, here we have accepting hypothesis and rejecting hypothesis. For example, we have some statement, so a statement A and B. So that statement A and any two statement may be that hypothesis, not either you can say hypothesis, two hypotheses, accepting hypothesis and rejecting hypothesis. Hypothesis true and hypothesis false. If it is hypothesis true, if you accepting that hypothesis, that is the correct decision. If hypothesis true, if you reject the hypothesis, that wrong decision, because we have hypothesis true. So that's why if it is hypothesis true, if you saying that wrong decision, that is type 1 error. Similarly, if it hypothesis false, so you are not accepting wrong decision, so that is error 2. If it is saying that is false, the rejecting that hypothesis, that is correct decision. That is the correct decision. So now we will go through one more definitions here. Significance level. The probability level below which leads to the rejection of the hypothesis is known as the significance level. So significance level we are usually 5% or 1%, 5% and 1%. So nothing but 0.05 or 0.01%. These two are called the significance level. For example, if we have a totally 100%, we are taking 95%, nothing but that is 0.01. If you are taking 99%, that is 0.01, right? So this is called as a 0.5%, this is called as a 0.1%. These two are called the significant levels, right? Then test of significance and confidence intervals. Here the process which helps us to decide about the acceptance or rejection of the hypothesis is called the test of significance, right? Now the standard, we know the standard normal variate, SNV. So usually already we have seen this standard normal variate, so z equal to x bar minus mu divided by delta divided by square root of n. This x, where x bar is nothing but sample mean of the random sample of size n. This also mean and mu also mean, right? Both are mean, but this is sample mean, but this is normal population mean. Mu is the normal population mu. Then delta is nothing but normal population standard deviation. So n is the sample size, this is the sample size, right? Then if this z normal standard normal variate is 95% of the area lies between, so z is minus 1.96 and plus 1.96. If we have a z is 95%, so z is lies between these 2 points, right? Minus 0.96 and plus 1.96, right? We are putting in the expression like this. So these two expressions, right? These two expressions. Finally, this mu is lies between this x bar minus 1.96 into rho divided by square root of n, then x bar plus 1.96 into rho divided by square root of n. Similarly, if z is 99% of the area lies between minus 2.58 and 2.58, plus minus and plus. So similar, same thing we are following here also, right? Then if you see the graphical picture of these two normal variate, see here, this is the 95%, this is 99% of the area. So here they covers, so z is mu is, so minus 1.96 plus 1.96, this mu is minus 2.58, 2.58, right? So this is 0.5 is 1%, 2.5 is 5%, this is the 5% area it covers. Then one-tailed and two-tailed test, one-tailed and two-tailed test. So if you see this one, you have a test, one-tailed test and two-tailed test. Critical values of z, nothing but normal variate values. So 5% level and 1% level. If it is 5% level, so this is the z value, right? If 1%, this is the z values. Just you know these are. So next is test of significance of large samples. Test of significance of large samples. We know that we have a mean and standard deviation. So previous module, nothing but a third module, probability distribution having this is a mean NP and standard deviation square root of NPQ. So let us consider the proportion of successes of these two, mean and standard deviation. The mean proportion of successes is just divided by n. So NP divided by n, n get cancelled, only p. So success proportion of mean is so p. Similarly, standard deviation or standard error proportion of success is square root of NPQ by n or square root of NP by n. Let us associated standard normal variate ZB denoted by, we know this, Z equal to normal standard normal variate, Z equal to x minus NP by square root of NPQ. So mu we know, so standard deviation also we know. So just this expression. Now test of hypothesis for mean. So previous section we have only one sample size, but if we have a more than one sample size, so let mu1 and mu2 be the mean of two populations. These mu1 and mu2 be the mean of two populations, because nothing but we have a two sample normal variate, two data, right? Let x1 bar comma delta 1 and x2 bar comma delta 2 be the mean and standard deviation of two large samples of size n1 and n2, right. So x1 bar x2 is the two mean of the two samples, delta 1 and delta are the two standard deviations of the two samples, n1 and n2 are the two sample size of the n1 and n2 respectively. So if you write the normal variate of the two sample size, z equal to this, right. Yeah, z is x1 bar minus x2 bar into mu1 minus mu2 divided by square root of delta 1 square by n1 plus delta 2 square by n2. So if you have both m equal to n, if you take m equal to n, so this is x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by this same expression. So this is called as null hypothesis. This is called as a null hypothesis. Nothing but H naught, capital H naught. Then, so this should be, you should know, just know these are the some basics of a sample sampling theory. Some useful formulas of the, when you are going to solve some examples, these are the some useful formulas. So this is standard normal variate z, and second one is mean and standard deviation. Then proportion of mean is p, only p. So standard deviation is square root of p q by n. Then probable limits equal to p plus or minus 2.58 into square root of pq by n. Then z equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by square root of delta 1 square by n1 plus delta 2 square by n2. So this is mu equal to mu1, if mu equal to mu1, right. Then just you call it just t test or student t test, student t distribution test, distribution or test, right. Now students t test or student t distribution. Now here also these are some useful formulas. T equal to x bar minus mu. So this is a sample size mean, this is a only mean, proportion mean, right. X bar minus mu divided by s square root of n. This also, s is nothing but a standard deviation of the two samples. S square equal to, here we have 1 divided by n minus 1, sum of I equal to 1 to n, xi minus x bar whole square. Then third one, t equal to x bar minus y bar divided by s into square root of 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. Then fourth, s square equal to, right, 1 divided by n1 plus n2 minus 2 into summation I equal to 1 to n1 xi minus x bar whole square plus summation j equal to 1 to n2 yj minus y bar whole square. So if we simplify this one, it is because we know this one using second relation. So n1 s1 square plus n2 s2 square divided by n1 plus n2 minus 2. Then fifth one is chi-square distribution. This is most important. So this is not a x, this is like this symbol chi. This is nothing but a chi, right? Chi symbol, chi square equal to summation. This is oi minus ei whole square divided by ei, right? So these are the some expressions. So this is useful formulas.